Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Guy here with KBTrainings. This is where I share with you everything that I know and what I'm doing now to extend my knowledge in the IT. So today I'm going to share with you how to configure port forwarding on the FortiGate. You know, the FortiGate that I just installed in my home network. If you haven't watched that video, it's on this channel. So I showed you all the basic configurations that I did for that FortiGate. Today what I'm going to show you is how to set port forwarding on the FortiGate to forward traffic on any port from your external IP or your public IP to your internal network. So what is exactly port forwarding and how does it help? First of all, you should know, if you don't, that any service on host is represented by a certain port. We know, for example, that the port 443 is for HTTPS or the secured web. The port 80 is for HTTP, and the port 22 is for SSH, and so on. So you have different ports on hosts that can represent different kind of services. So for RDP, for example, it's going to be for 3389. What if you want to access your computer from your internal network on the outside? What you have to do then is forward traffic to that machine. So in our example, this is our external network, and let's say we have not even let's say we do have a 10.0.0.3, which is our workstation we installed. So if we want to access the port 3389 on this host from the outside, we have to forward the traffic that comes in on the public IP to this specific host on this specific port. And on the outside, we have the freedom to change whatever IP we want. In this case, I want to be a little bit controversial or superstitious. I'm going to use the port 666 to forward the traffic from that port to the 3389 on the inside. Even the 3389 can be changed to be a specific port on the Windows. If you want to know how to do that, let me know. You don't have to do this if you have a lot of public IPs. Like if your ISP, if they give you, let's say, /29, you can use one of these public IP directly on the host that you want to access on the inside, and maybe put it on the DMZ, and you can have access directly to that public IP if you do have it. And in my case, I set a domain name linked to my public IP, so it's going to be KBTrainings.bisuku.net. So this is the public domain name that we're going to use to access this FortiGate. And of course, because we want to do RDP, we're going to do it on the port 666. So now let's go on the FortiGate, and I'm going to show you how to configure this. I have this MacBook which is connected to an external Wi-Fi, so it's not in my internal network. I'm going to use this to test the port forwarding from the outside. So this is connected on the internet, and I'm going to create a remote desktop session on this and see if it can get into my network. All right, so in the FortiGate, we need to go under Policy and Objects and select Virtual IPs. And what we have to do here is create a virtual IP, which is going to manage the port forwarding from this device to the inside. So we click on virtual IP, and we're going to give it a name. Let's say RDP to internal. And we can put a little comment here if we want to. So the interface, so here we need to put the ingress interface, which is WAN1. And we also need to specify the public IP and the private IP in the inside. So the private IP, I just put my public IP right here, and I have to hide it, of course. And for the private IP, the inside, it's 10.0.0.3. So before doing that, let's launch an RDP session from this internal computer to the 10.0.0.3, so we can see exactly how this session goes down when the other or the second RDP session is up. Yeah, so this is the RDP session locally that I created from my private network to the lab network. So we come back into FortiGate and we select port forwarding, and here we put what is the external IP, the external port that we want to forward. It's 666, and we are forwarding it to the 3389 internally, and we click OK. So we have that created, and the second thing that we have to do is create a virtual IP group. So we select virtual IP group. For the name, we can just put RDP. We're going to use this virtual IP group for our policy, the IP policy that we're going to, the IPv4 policy that we're going to create. So the interface, of course, is 1 and what are the members? We select RDP to internal, and we click OK. So we have these two configured, and the last thing that we have to do is create a policy for that. So we need to go under IPv4 policy, create new policy, and we are going to name it, let's say, yeah, just name it port forwarding. And the ingress interface or the incoming interface is WAN1, outgoing interface LAN, or outgoing interface is the lab interface, and the source of the traffic. So we haven't specified specific host or IPs on the outside, so we're just gonna grab all that's on the internet, and the destination is going to be the virtual IP group that we created, which is RDP, and schedule always, of course. And then we need to select the servers. It's going to be all, even though we specified in the virtual IP groups that this is for RDP. So at this level, we can just put all, and that's fine. So we select all and click OK. So at this step, you can see the new IPv4 policy is here. So at this level, we are now able to do RDP from the outside. So let's go on the Mac and launch a new RDP session from here. So I opened the Microsoft remote desktop, and I'm going to create a new session, add PC. So the IP or the host name is going to be kbtrainings.bisuku.net. And for the credentials, I'm going to use what I already saved here for KBTrainings. What else do we have to do here? So a friendly name, I'm just going to give it a friendly name to recognize it among all these others. So I'm going to say external RDP test. That's what we're doing here. And don't forget to add the port. So we need to add colon 666 here, so because this is the port that we're going to forward to the 3389, and we click OK. And before doing that, let me bring this the RDP session that I created locally on here, so that you can see what happens when I launch the new RDP session from the Mac that I have on the external network or from the internet. All right, so when I double click on this to open the session, you see the certificate warning, which means that we already have reachability to the internal computer. So let me put it on a side so you can see side by side. When I click OK, you see that there is a message on the window, on the Windows session, telling me that I lost connectivity, and the MacBook now has taken over the RDP session. Hey, that's all, guys. I just showed you how to configure port forwarding on the FortiGate. If you have any question, leave it in a comment. If you like what I'm doing, if you like to learn more on the IT, networking, system, web, or programming, subscribe to this channel, because KBTrainings is here to share with you all that knowledge. So I'll see you in the next video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.